Alright, so let's just jump straight into this video. So in today's video, we are going to try to sit on Koda's back again, and as you probably saw from the thumbnail, it is a successful sit. So yeah, let's kind of get into how I prepped Koda for this. First, we obviously have to go ahead and get him groomed and tacked up. I think when I first started recording this video, I had already had him groomed, besides the couple leaves on his back that just blew onto his back. So we're going to pretty much immediately jump straight into tacking him up. Koda's really good about being tacked up. I've not had any issues with it. It's a pretty peaceful process. I tend to step away and let him look at whatever I'm doing if he, reaches his head back and is kind of curious about what he was doing. I was a little stressed on this day, and you'll kind of notice it in my training session with Koda. That was more so because I was a bit upset that today was a windier day. It wasn't the day that I was expecting it to be, but that's going to happen with horses, so I can't expect a perfect day every single day. There was a perfect day when I sat on Koda for the first time. This is going to be the second time, and it's not as perfect, but it kind of shows where we need to work on in our training, like every session does. So today was a bit windy. He handled it fine. I was, if anything, the one who was a little more worried for him. I don't know why. I even said to myself, he has no issues with the wind, so there's nothing to worry about, and that seemed to put myself at ease. But after we get him tacked up, we're going to kind of do the same sort of exercises we did in the last video. I'm going to kind of shake the stirrups around. I'm going to slap the saddle around, and I'm going to just basically be as obnoxious as possible and make sure he's fully comfortable. In the background, you might notice some things moving around. My mom is trying to make me a makeshift mounting block, so we're playing around with that again today, and it actually worked pretty well. So we're gonna get a more permanent solution sometime soon. Don't know when, but sometime soon, since Koda and I are kind of moving on to the next chapter. It seems I'd say we're pretty much in the next chapter, just getting a feel for things and seeing how things go. So I did want to talk about this little moment here that happened with Koda when I lined him up to the mounting block. You'll notice that he actually walks away and he pins his ears. I don't think you guys don't get as good of an angle as I did when this happened, but his energy was a little funky here. So I had to stop him for a moment, assess kind of what happened, and I still don't fully know what happened here because this session went really well even after that. I think he was expressing something, and I don't know what that was. I don't remember. I remember it not ending up being too big of a deal. Maybe there were some bugs that were irritating him. I just remember him being like, okay, that's it. I'm good. So whatever it was he had expressed, I looked him over, checked on him, made sure he was okay. He seemed okay, and then I also tested him at the mounting block a couple more times to make sure I wasn't triggering anything, and it didn't seem to be anything that I could notice to do with that. Now, if I'm totally honest with you guys, this was the last time I sat on Koda because I knew we weren't ready to progress to actual riding. We still have some groundwork to do, and the only reason I decided to sit on Koda was because it felt right in my heart. So I know I'm probably gonna get some comments about like just him not being fully prepped for this, but it felt right and it went right, you know. So I think in this case what I did was okay. Either way, moving on. I don't know when the next time will be that you guys will see me on Koda, but I do have a really good feeling about this year, and I'm hoping that good feeling will stick around. But yeah, on top of him and me not being ready to ride, the days that I did decide to mess around with this were conveniently a lot warmer in temperature, and after this session there had been a pretty noticeable temperature drop and Koda started to feel pretty fresh. Over the next couple of days I was saying he was like fresher than a peppermint due to the weather change. So it didn't really work out for me to try to sit on him for any longer or for any other prolonged period of time. But even if it was the correct weather for it, I just had the feeling that we were good with that, and it's time to actually work on the groundwork and the foundation work that we really need to actually get in the saddle where I can actually ride him around and take him out. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think that's a normal way people would do things, but it really felt right to me, and I'm very happy that I did it. So I don't regret anything. But really and truly wanted to use this video as a marking point, as the start of a new chapter for me in Koda. Again, I just have a really good feeling about this year and how we'll progress, and I have some exciting things that I'm planning out for videos and other projects, so I'm hoping you guys will be willing to stick around for it. Also, I think it was after the last video, when we first sat on Koda, we hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a little crazy. So I'm very excited about that. Thank you to everyone who did subscribe. I'm a little baffled by it. Like, I genuinely don't have the words to say for it. I'm very thankful and I really appreciate it. Even if I don't sound like it, I'm just a bit flustered by it because I was not expecting it, if I'm totally honest with you. So thank you, and thank you for everyone's support throughout Koda and I's journey. I know it's been a bumpy one, and I'm sure still to this day people are kind of looking at me like, what are you doing? Just stop what you're doing. But we're getting there, and I think a lot of you guys see that too. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me through this crazy journey. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of talk through a little bit of what I did. After I sat on Koda, I didn't get on him again, but what I did work on a little bit before I got on him and after I got on him was his flexion. I'm still trying to figure this one out. I'm not the best at it, so he's not gonna be the best at it either, but we do need to work on his flexion and his flexibility. He needs some stretching. But on top of his flexion, which I worked at for a little while, I don't know if I had worked on it for a little too long, because I think at some point he was just getting a little bored of it. What I probably should have done is taken a break from it, worked on something else, and then went back to it. But unfortunately, I remember this day just not having a lot of brain power and not being able to totally think through a lot of things. I think I was just a little burnt out from the past couple days because Koda had like a couple weeks off. And suddenly we were getting back into our training sessions and they were quite, for him and I, rigorous on the brain. So yeah, I just kind of ended it again with testing, flapping the stirrups around, that sort of thing, being a little obnoxious. I don't remember whether or not I spent any time jumping next to his sides. I guess I'll find out in a moment. But once I was done with that and I figured it was all good, I just untacked him and turned him out to the pasture or paddock pasture, one of the two, doesn't matter, because there's no more for really us to do. Oh, there's me jumping. There I go. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to kind of end on a good note, but make sure we did a couple more things because neither of us were quite ready for the session to end, especially him, but because he's just I've noticed he was kind of just like, okay, yeah, we're doing this. I know what I'm doing. It was more so me, I think, that was pooped out. So I didn't want to push it with me not knowing exactly what I was wanting to do next and then him get frustrated with my slow brain cells. So yeah, with that said, I think that about wraps up this video. I brushed his mane and then untacked him and turned him out and gave him his dinner. Oh, actually, if you're still here, here's a little bit of a bonus clip that I wanted to share with you guys and show you how well Koda did handling this situation. So, I mean, it's not all that special to most people. I mean, yeah, it's a car, but Koda's never been in the driveway with a moving vehicle before, so I didn't know how he would react, and I was pretty happy with his response. I mean, he could have just stood still, but, you know, he was, if anything, a bit bored. I was the only one who was watching, just because I had to grab the package. But that's besides the point. He did good. Alright, we're gonna call it good there, with the wind and everything, and he probably would have let me continue, but I think I don't want to push it, you know. Do I? Oh, please don't knock my phone down, but yeah. All right, see ya.
Take it real soon.